Your gifts, talents, and abilities are undergoing or about to undergo a powerful upgrade. If you identify as a healer, I'm especially talking to you. Maybe you heal with your words, with your hands, through the arts, actually through medicine or food, with your writing. Maybe just your very presence alone is healing. As a matter of fact, I channeled the scripture in Joshua where Archangel Michael says, "Where you stand is holy." And what that means is that your presence alone has a transformative essence. I encourage you to take this new moon, this full moon in Aquarius, as an opportunity, an open invitation to rest, to rejuvenate, to conserve your energy. Because I have a feeling that life is about to go into overdrive in some pleasantly, although surprising, ways. And you're going to need your energy. So not only should you rest up, Buttercup, for what's to come, but it'll also be good practice and good form to get in the habit of prioritizing rest, relaxation, rejuvenation, so that you can be operating at your absolute best when you need to most. What's up, everybody? It's me, Danae. I'm here with a message for you. It is Wednesday, July 29th. It's 7:59 on the clock, probably just a few strikes away from 8 p.m. on the dot. And as I said, we are in the midst of a full moon in Aquarius. I channeled much of the pre-shuffled message from the Chosen Ones 144 deck by Maji, the High Priestess. Maji got the tea on YouTube. And that was the essence of the gist of the message. So I encourage you to take heed as you feel guided to. And again, to give yourself permission to rest as you need to, because there's going to come an opportunity there's going to come moments of accelerated activity and motion, of which you'll probably be thrilled to oblige, but the point is to be proactive about regenerating yourself so that you can do so in the fullest capacity of power and energy that you can possibly manage. So take that as you will. But anyway, let's see what else we got here today. I'm going to try to keep this as quick as possible. I hope you're doing well. I myself have been kind of taking it easy today. I realized that I've just really been, I don't know, like just taking it easy and taking my time today. And it wasn't any conscious intention. It just has been what it's been. You know, I'm even kind of out of order with coming to the table today for the message, because I was drawn to do this and then drawn to do that and then sit down and relax and then have some food and then watch a little of this, and everything has just kind of been fluid and on my time, like no particular rush or pressure for anything. So if that can transmit to you as something that feels right, which may be out of the ordinary for you, depending on how you live your life, just go with it. Just go with that flow. Because your spirit and your soul might be guiding you to take measures that your mind and body need. Ooh, Four of Swords. I'm going to take that. Exactly. Oh, that's confirmative. King of Swords. Rest your mind. Yeah. Find your balance and your fulfillment in that rest and relaxation. And don't overthink it. You know, don't overthink it. Prioritize it, as a matter of fact, is what I'm getting from the King of Swords. What else? Oh, yeah. Because this could be a closing cycle for a trauma. That's well overdue. Yeah, justice. Yeah. Bringing balance from PTSD, from like traumatic experiences, from seasons of overthinking, overworking, overdoing, overcompensating. Yes, like this is the justice here. Something is fair for you to respond in the way that the divine is inviting you to, which I said may feel out of the ordinary. It may even invoke some guilt or like apprehension or reluctance or something of the sort, like, man, I can't be taking a nap in the middle of the day, or I ain't doing nothing right now. I should be working on such and such, or I shouldn't be sitting here watching this show right now. I got things to do. Like, do you? Do you? Is anything so urgent and so pressing at this very moment that you can't take the time to take a load off? Take the time to just be with yourself, even if it's doing absolutely nothing, even if it is taking a nap, even if it's meditating, praying, taking a walk, reading a book, watching a show, you know, whatever it is that allows you to just kind of exhale and release pressure, stress. It's all right. I'm here to tell you it's all right. It's needed, as a matter of fact. It's necessary. It's essential to your recovery process. So there's some recovery that's happening through this lunation. Maybe that's the precursor for the upgrades, or it's happening in tandem, which is probably the reason why, you know, it's like you're in a recovery phase, but then you're also like powering up in a sense, or taking on new energy, new vitality. That could be quite taxing on the mind, the body, and the spirit. So the divine knows what's necessary. And it may not make sense to your regularly scheduled program, but it may make all the difference to how you integrate with these upgrades. It's like I'm getting the sense, like the peace dealer has made this analogy many times, like about like a software upgrade to some degree. You know, like how your phone goes through, what do they call it? Is it called upgrading? Updates. Yeah, like your phone goes through updates, and usually it powers off before, you know, when it's complete, and then you start it up again. Your body needs that same consideration. Your mind especially. So like emphasis with all this sword energy on really just allowing yourself to be mindfully mindless, if that makes sense, where you're not trying to overexert your brain power in any particular direction more than necessary, of course. Like, and even if these are interval times um of retreat or rest, but for the most part, like, allow your mind to be at rest and to be assured that you're not missing anything, or you're not doing yourself a disservice on account of that. Something's going on in that downtime that's needed. All right, what else? I'm not going to stay this long. What's after this Justice card? Yeah, Three of Cups. You'll be happy that you did. You'll be happy that you accepted the invitation. Because on the other side of that cause and effect is something to be celebrated. It's like when it's all said and done, it's like realizing, like, oh man, like things that you'll wish you may not have fought yourself, or that you didn't. Okay, how can I say this? You'll wish that, I mean, perhaps it's easy for you to just relent to rest and relaxation. So that's one thing. But for many of us, even if you do it, like I was saying, even for myself today, it wasn't like necessarily a conscious effort, but I did realize, like, oh man, I haven't done my video yet, or I haven't, like the natural order of my day was not what it usually is, or generally what I like for it to be. And but for me, there was no particular moment where I was like, you need to get over to that table and you need to do this or do that, or get off of this or stop watching that. It was just like, okay, this is what we're doing right now. No problem. And now here we are, for me, much later than usual, but I feel relaxed. I feel I feel fine. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like any time has been lost, or anything has been sacrificed. And the lunation is still lunation, and the world is still turning, and life goes on, you know? And it's like sometimes we need to give ourselves the permission to allow life to flow in ways that we don't necessarily dictate every minute or second of the day of. And it would be like me giving this message and extending this invitation is the opportunity to not fight yourself on that flow, and then just to get to the point of like the Three of Cups after the effect and say, damn, what was I tripping about? Like, I was good a whole time. Like, I didn't even need to stress. I didn't even need to worry. Everything was being taken care of. Everything was in order. Like, sometimes we get to the end of a thing and reflect back and realize that we didn't need to put so much pressure on ourselves or on the circumstances, recognizing in hindsight, as always, 2020, that we had the invitation to not do so all along. but that we allowed our mind or whatever the circumstances to compel us to feel differently than what our spirit was persistent, that type of conflict. And then you get to the point at the Three of Cups where, of course, like all is well, everything is everything, and it always was going to be. So if you would have allowed yourself to rest assured on that projection from the very start, it would have been an even more satisfying process to boot, if that makes sense. So this is the initial invitation now to give you the permission to affirm you that whatever that inkling is, again, that may be out of the ordinary or different from the norm, is okay. It's necessary. It's admissible. It's a means to an end. It's not going to harm anything. And at the end of the day, when you see how it all turns out, you'll be happy that you listened to that inkling. Because it's nothing like, you get to the happy ending and it's like, oh, that was great, but damn, I wish I had knew that from the gate. And it's like, well, you probably did, but you probably didn't believe it. You know what I mean? Or you probably didn't feel certain or feel secure with that, So here it is. Your word of security, your sign, your confirmation that whatever you're feeling divinely guided to do, or however you're feeling divinely led, is indeed purposeful and is leading to a positive outcome. The Three of Cups, to be exact, like something that you're actually going to be thrilled about. Oh my goodness, with the Nine of Pentacles. And I'm really going to end it there. I know you can't believe it. I'm going to end it there. Yep. That point of reassurance, as I sometimes call this card, like supreme esteem, where you reflectively can see all the energy you invested into a thing now materializing in a way where it's like now you can count your blessings and say, like, it was all worth it. It was always on track. There was really nothing that I needed to. And I love how we got the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles, because the spirit always precedes the material or the flesh. The truth of the matter. It originates in the spirit. So again, it's like now coming to the point when it's all worked out, when you have everything, all the evidence to show for your hard work, your dedication, your devotion to yourself, particularly your faith, your fortitude, your perseverance, your persistence, all of that good stuff, all the investments that were made at a spiritual in a spiritual origin first, now materializing here, and you can reflectively look back and say, well, damn, I never had anything to worry about the whole time. That just adds an even more magnified, or an even greater value to what you've gained, of which you can count or measure, because you realize that when there was no guarantee and there was no particular rule of thumb or way to measure your success at a particular time when it wasn't material, it adds value to your confidence, more so even, let's say, for future endeavors, or for a future, here it is, it comes back to one always, for reconditioning yourself to exercise a certain faith at the onset, or as a continuous frequency, no matter what, because you can look back at the times when there was no guarantee, when you felt incited to put your all into a thing, maybe even worry about a thing or overly consider, or even when there were trials and tribulations you came up against and you weren't quite sure how it was going to turn out. And here it is, the evidence of your faith actualized through your existence, where you know very well how it's all turned out. And that this gets to be more or less like the blueprint of how you can proceed in life moving forward. So ultimately, like, cut the fat on your what's the word, on your uncertainties or your insecurities, quite honestly. Like, to cut the fat on all of that so that you can go through life even more seamlessly and effortlessly manifesting in the alignment that is destined and designed for you. Also, back to one, in the case of gifts, here's the investment energy here into self, despite or in spite of traumas, maybe even as wisdom from traumas that one learned to pour into self, to love self, to nurture self. And here we are at the Nine of Pentacles, where those gifts are beginning to sprout. You know, they're materializing and actualizing in ways that have a noticeable and measurable effect. And also, here's another big thing, make an impact outside of you, because now you can take the Six of Pentacles and invest that elsewhere and otherwise, in other people, in causes, and ideas that are in alignment with you. Reinvest in ways to expand your impact that much more, to enhance your efficacy, to impact, to enlarge your territory of impact, and on and on and on. But it all started from this space of nurturing the spirit and the mind, and knowing, discerning when it was a time to rest assured, or when there may have been a time to get activated. But now, having all things in retrospective view, here is the advancement of your supreme esteem to now assert that wisdom in a way that makes you even more effective, and dare I say, even more powerful for this next leg of the journey. That makes you poised to receive these activations in stride, and also know exactly how to measure them, how to magnify them, how to stay magnetized for more, and also how to reinvest and project, respectively. So you're not getting this upgrade because of, some superficial favoritism or selectiveness. Is on the merit of what you ultimately have curated, shown, and prove yourself willing, ready, and eager to receive responsibly. And we know that comes through a whole myriad of things. But like I said, if you consider yourself a healer, you already know what those things are, and I'm talking to you. I don't have to go through the motions for anybody that has identified themselves as a healer and has already a proven track record of their success in a particular healing capacity. This is just your sign that job well done, first and foremost, let me say that much. And that now what you've already been afforded to do and what you've already let's say what you've already, how can I say it, like you've already not coached, but I don't know, what you've already accomplished in a certain capacity is about to be taken to a new level. Which is exactly the reason why, like, imagine what you're already able to do now being expanded to measures of which I can't say, I can't determine. I'm sure that's very unique to who you are, but what I do believe is that it's going to be on a grander and much more expansive scale than what you're used to. Hence why it's imperative that you allow yourself to rest as you have the opportunity to do now, and also make it a habit and a priority to continuously allow yourself that leisure and that luxury as you feel you need to, so that you can stay in this frequency of productivity for the service of unto yourself, unto whomever or whatever you're assigned to, and of course, as an extension of the divine. There's great work to be done just by way of your presence alone, but in order for you to operate at your best, you got to be at your best. Oh, with the moon card here. Oh, and the 8 of, what did I say? This is what you don't see coming, rapid acceleration. Opportunities that seem to be coming out of nowhere. Invitations that you didn't even know you were a consideration for. Propositions, messages, perhaps to collaborate, to co-create, that you didn't even know you were on somebody's radar for. And also the upgrades themselves that are coming. I feel like on the other side is the attachment of all the other things that I said, like the acceleration of, the overdrive of life, but it's on account of this coming into the realm and it's like direct incoming hit that seems to kind of be out of nowhere. I mean, it would be out of nowhere if it weren't for me giving you the heads up right here and right now. But I think even the magnitude in which it hits, and I'll say this, like the speed of which it comes in, and also the magnitude of the moments, like the opportunities themselves being so big, so supercharged, so expansive, so surprising, so full, rich, that's the part that's going to be immeasurable in ways, and just like kind of off the Richter scale of what you would expect to be in alignment for. Because as I've been saying a lot lately, you just have no point of reference for this rate of advancement. So all that you can do within your power is just to rest when you can and stay ready. That's the best you can do for yourself. Like, it doesn't even feel like, I'm getting chills, but it doesn't even feel like the words that I'm saying are that profound. But I'm telling you, like, as sure as I'm saying here about this 3 of Pentacles, where you will have wished reflectively you would have listened to yourself, or listened to this message, or listened to inklings or signs and signals otherwise that are pointing you to exactly what I'm saying, that things are about to get interesting in ways that of which some may be seen, but many you have no idea. Do yourself a favor, rest assured that all is well, relax, stay poised, stay alert, and stay ready. I can't even say get ready because you already been ready. So just stay there. But allow yourself the time to generate as much energy and power and reserve as you can. Because when it's time to go, and you will know when that time is, there will be no mistaking it. The last thing you want is to wish you had taken the time to rest up before the moment of opportunities arrive. Ooh, this is so exciting. You're gonna do great. Whatever it is, you're already ready. This is just a natural order of something, but I just don't think most of us are prepared for the magnitude. So because the divine can see beyond what you can, do away with the program and the business as usual for a minute, just for now at least, and allow yourself, afford yourself the luxury of falling out of the schedule or the routine so that there can be an establishment with you in full form and full efficacy for whatever this new regime or routine may be. It may look like something completely different than what you've been accustomed to up until this point. All right, so anyway, thanks for listening and watching. It's quite curious, this message is. But until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.